I'm Dave. I'm the CEO of Etherfuse. I appreciate talking to everyone here today and everyone online. We've been working for the past 18 months to release a product that I think is first in this world to be released. I know a lot of people are working on it right now, but I want to talk to you a little bit about bonds and how those can exist on the blockchain. First, let's see. Clicker is. There we go. OK. One of our hypotheses is the blockchain, it's not an evolution in technology. It's a huge, huge change. And so a lot of us, in this ecosystem, we're looking at the blockchain and saying, what can we do to help get mass adoption? Well, let's see. OK, sorry, learning this. We believe that mass adoption, it requires a huge leap forward. So we're not going to see a few people slowly to migrate over to the blockchain, but there's a lot of things that need to happen. So one of the biggest issues is we just assume that the community or people using it will close this chasm. And we think if we build it, they will come. However, we've seen in history that that's not always the case. And what we're seeing now in the blockchain space, we've seen before. And we see that history is starting to repeat itself. So what I want to do is I want to kind of look at some of the lessons we can glean from the past and apply those to today. And so we can also look at the lessons that have worked in the past and apply those to the blockchain today. So a long, long time ago, Alexander the Great, he minted a coin. And he borrowed a lot of money to mint this coin and to develop this network or this and continue the promotion of this coin and to continue to pay supporters. His approach to being effective would be to plunder neighboring nations, take their mints or their metals, mint his coin, and then force adoption. And so he saw it as the demand for more users here came through conquering, and so you get more users, you get a higher cost, and it costs more to obtain those users because now your coin costs more, and so the need to conquer more became higher and higher and higher until you tap out and you spiral down. This is very similar to how a lot of these blockchains are competing with each other. We're competing for a fixed pie of users, and the price goes up until it comes down, crashing down. The early US colonies, they were far separate from financial institutions in England or here in Amsterdam. And so they needed some money that fit their needs. They didn't have really opportunities or options or interface that fit their needs. So they speculated and they built paper money. And this paper money, all sorts of different paper money, the Massachusetts bill, the Louisiana bill, led to speculation and led to huge bubbles like the South Sea bubble or the Mississippi bubble. And some of these really caught up a lot of smart people like Isaac Newton. They lost a lot of money doing this. And so, once these new types of currencies were introduced, you'd get quick adoption and then a crash. That's a lot similar to our altcoins. Pancho Villa, a famous Mexican figure, he started the Bank of Chihuahua, and he seeded it with 10 million pesos, some capital. And then he created a currency called the Vilista. And so this is a lot like a stable coin. So backed by something, carried forward with trust. And his cash, it was pegged with collateral, but started to grow in value, pegged by his value, so what he did. So as he was winning kind of battles and wars, his currency continued to stay stable, and then when he started to lose, it started to crash. So we have a job to bridge this chasm, and what are we going to do? What we're doing now isn't quite working. We're seeing a lot of instability. So let's look what's been effective in the past. How can we learn from that? What we believe, Etherfuse believes, is this is a set of iterations. So we're going to see a lot of different things happen, big things happen before we get this adoption. And we think this first thing is to introduce bonds. So we created a product called the stable bond. And the stable bond is the introduction of the interface of bonds into the blockchain. And so I want to look at what bonds has done in the past and how we can view it as something that's successful to help networks grow. So one of the first bonds that was created was called the Prasiti. It was created in Venice, so you've probably heard of Venice. They've been very successful. But this bond helped them protect their town and even capture Constantinople, which is a pretty big deal. So we've seen in times of past when nations are being built that bonds were an effective interface to create stability. The French, they created a perpetual annuity called rents, and these were secured on tax and wine, which is a safe revenue stream in France, was back then too. And then here in Amsterdam, the Dutch, they issued an infrastructure bond to repair a dike or to create a dike. And this bond lasted 300 plus years. It was traded on the New York Stock Exchange for quite some time. So we believe with the launch of this product, stable bonds, we'll be able to help promote growth of a network and create stability on the blockchain. We're really excited to launch this today. And we're starting with a bond in a specific country. So the Ether-Fuse stable bond, happy to introduce it. It's ready for DeFi, and it's ready for this current stage of the blockchain. So we've aligned with the government of Mexico to work closely with their regulations to create tangible bonds that they issue and to release them on the blockchain. So we are regulated out of Mexico, and we're offering this to the world. What a stable bond is it's a bond that we acquire from a government and that we keep 100% of in our book entry system and our treasuries, and then we issue a token for that bond to you. These tokens are self-custody, self-held, and all the interest payments and the par value of a bond is available to the owner or holder of that token. So one thing we wanted to do, which we think is unique, is the bond is actually can be two things. It's originally issued as an SPL token, so it's ready for DeFi. You can get loans against it. You can create pools. You can create applications for your apps for it. Or you can do something interesting like claim the insurance or the interest on it, but hold the deed of trust. And so at that point in time, you'd want to convert it into an NFT. So we have it represented as both an SPL token and an NFT. So how do you get one? You go to etherfuse.com and you buy one. Currently today, we are offering a 28 days CETES, which is a Mexican bond, BBB plus backed. Etherfuse.com, you can see our link to stablebonds.etherfuse.com, where you can go and purchase a bond at par value and receive interest, and 28 days later, you'll get that interest back. If you look at the current ecosystem for crypto investments, there's a lot of scarce investments, a lot of 0.03 APY, unless you're using stable coins, and then you have a good chance of losing those stable coins, or to 4%. So a lot of risky investments in crypto with a lot of low APYs. Our first stable bond that we're offering is a CETES, and the API is 11%. So this is a safe investment at 11%. These are high yields, and they are BBB plus rated. They're guaranteed and backed by the government of Mexico, and as an SPL token, they are ready for DeFi. So create applications, earn your yield, purchase them at stablebonds.etherfuse.com, and do what you need with them. In this space, there's a couple other people doing bonds. Ondo Finance is a big one. There's a company out of Europe and other people who are trying to do things. We feel we stand alone in this space as far as self-custody and interest-bearing. So a lot of other people doing bonds, they have some gatekeeping mechanism. You can buy these, trade them, and sell them. And there's really no one else doing this right now. We're at least a few minutes ahead of everybody else. Right now, today, we're offering Mexican government bonds. We'll be doing corporate bonds here in December. We'll offer US bonds in February and EU bonds in May, and we'll keep doing more and more after that. So today we're releasing, if you scan this QR code, you will get an NFT that will put you on a whitelist that will let you go into stablebonds.etherfuse.com and create an account. So right now, this is gated by an NFT. We're going to let about 5,000 people in. And so if you scan this code, it's a zero-cost transaction, sends you an NFT. And you can go to stablebonds.etherfuse.com, create your account, and start buying bonds today. So today we have the 28-day CETES. It's 11% APY, backed by the government of Mexico and issued as a stable SPL token that can be converted to an NFT if you want to claim interest. So thank you.